What's going on, everyone? So one of the things that the San Antonio Spurs need to resolve, no matter what happens, right? A lot of talks about Kevin Durant, obviously. Maybe that happens, maybe it doesn't. But whatever happens, they need to solve the other forward position, likely the power forward position. And you can solve that in two ways, right? One is go get a guy that can play the power forward position, obviously. Two is you go get a center and slide Wemby to the four. Something I've talked about very heavily is that, Wemby in the way that he wants to play, he's more Kevin Durant than Hakeem Olajuwon anyway. And he wants to take 10 threes a game, which I'm not a big fan of, but that's the game he wants to play. Go get an interior presence. Go get a center that can help rebound, give you offensive rebounds, protect the rim, right? I know people have concerns that Wemby doesn't play well with another center. He doesn't play well with centers like Rudy Gobert that can't score outside of 5 feet, right? Like I could probably beat him in a layup contest, right? Of course, he's not going to play well alongside the guy because the guy can't get outside of 5 feet, right? But if you get a guy that's more versatile, that could slot in at the 5, maybe slot in at the 4, whatever, I think that that's a real option. A guy that kind of gives you everything that you want, with or without Kevin Durant, and if this team actually gets Kevin Durant, not the Spurs, the team I'm about to talk about, then it's very possible that it makes it even more likely the Spurs get this guy, and that's Naz Reid, right? If you're the Spurs, go get Naz Reid. He's 25 years old. He'll be 26 by the start of next season, so he's young enough to fit this timeline. He wants to start. He wants to play a significant role. And guess what he could do? Slot in beautifully next to Victor Wembanyama. And then, again, if you go get Kevin Durant, literally you could have Naz Reid, Victor Wembanyama, and Kevin Durant as your front court. And then Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox as your backcourt. Now we're talking, right? Talk about the versatility. Beauty of Naz Reid, though, too, is that he can play the 5 and he can play the 4. Technically, you can even start him at the 5 if you wanted to, right? I think probably start Wemby and then have him be the 4. But beauty is that, when Wemby goes to the bench, you can run Naz Reid at the 5. You can have the interchangeable intangibles that you don't get with many guys in this league with him, right? He's a guy that, yes, he's not a real 7-footer, right? He's, 6'9", but he has the wingspan. He has the size, right? He's 265. So he's a guy that can bang with the big boys, right? On the inside. He's got more weight. Bigger than Wemby weight-wise, right? So he's a guy that gives you that interior presence. You can run small with him at the center position, still maintain some size, and kind of just go 5 wide if you wanted to. You go 5 wide with Wemby on the basketball court, right? So it just gives you the 3-point shooting, gives you the rebounding, the defense, the protection, a guy that can defend in space, a guy that can defend out on the perimeter, brings some toughness, right? He was a big part of Minnesota's toughness, and they were one of the most physical, tough teams in all of basketball. He was coming off a season in which he averaged 14, 6, and 2. Cover all that here in a moment. But also, like I mentioned, if Minnesota ends up landing Kevin Durant, they're not gonna have the money. They're not gonna have all this stuff to go and keep Naz Reid and do all these other things, right? And if they end up trading Rudy Gobert, right? What do they do with their center? It's just, they don't figure out. It's very possible that if Minnesota ends up landing Kevin Durant, there's talks about them doing, Naz Reid might even become easier for you to go and acquire. And look, I've talked about it. Instead of going after Kevin Durant, I don't hate the idea of going after other wings and solving, what it would cost you to go get Kevin Durant. You might be able to get a Naz Reid and a sign and trade, and then go trade for a Herb Jones or something like that, right? And slide Herb Jones at the 3, Naz Reid at the 4, with De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and Victor Wembanyama. Now you got your starting 5 for the next 6 years. You can start building chemistry and become one of the best teams in all of basketball. Maybe as soon as next year, right? So I look at a guy like a Naz Reid, and I'm just man, he makes a lot of sense for this team. He's a guy that I think would slot in beautifully. Of course, there's other options out there, but there's not as many that are as good as Naz Reid and what he can produce and what he's done for Minnesota. Give him that expanded role. Maybe repays you by being an all-star level guy. But good thing is, too, the last 2 years, he plays. Right? He played 80 games last year, 81 games the year before, 68, 77, 70. The fewest games he's ever played was his rookie year, and that was 30. He played 27.5 minutes per game, took 11.5 5 attempts per game, shot 46.2% from the floor. He shot on 5.8 attempts, which is the most attempts of his career. He's a career 3.8 guy, so he took 2 more attempts than his career average. Every year it's kind of gone up, though. He shot 38% from three-point range, right? He is a career 37% guy, and the year previous on 5 attempts, he shot 41.4%. So he's basically giving you the last 2 years on average, basically 39% from three-point range on 5+ attempts. So you can shoot the basketball, which is good. 2-point percentage, 54.4% on 5.8 attempts. Shot 55.6% EFG. Free throw shooting. He's a career 73% free throw shooter on 2 attempts. Last year on 2 attempts, 77.6%. Grabbed 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists. We'll round up. It's 0.7 steals, but we'll call it a steal. And then it's 0.9 blocks. We'll call it a block. He is a career 0.9 block game guy and 14.2 points. Look at his per 36, which per 36 doesn't tell you everything. And plus, he wasn't a guy that played 15 minutes. But what would he look like, playing full-time starter level minutes? He'd be 18, almost 19 points, 18.6, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 1.5 blocks per game. Sounds like the kind of guy that Spurs could really use as a versatile 3-and-D style forward that could slot in, that gives you hustle, effort, energy. Like, you don't ever have to worry about what is Naz Reid going to bring tonight? Right? You know what he's going to bring. He's going to bring that toughness. He's going to bring that edge. He's going to bring that intensity. He's going to knock down shots. He's not afraid of the moment. He's a guy that has plenty of experience. Right? He's been in back-to-back conference finals and has hit big shots along the way after big shots along the way. And on many nights has been the best player for Minnesota or the second best player for Minnesota. And just guy that can go get you 20 on any given night. I mean, you slot him, even if he just stays where he's at, let's say he gives you 15, 6, and 2, right? With a block and a steal as your power forward. It's perfect, right? Again, you have De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, right? And that's not counting if you get a Kevin Durant or not, right? You're not going to have 5 guys averaging 20 points, but you need guys that can, again, defend, rebound, block shots, hit the 3 ball, play on ball, play off ball, do a little bit of everything, be versatile. Naz Reid is one of those guys that can be incredibly versatile for a San Antonio team and also get minutes at the 5. Now, I'd still would want to go get a backup 5, right? But to again, have that in changeables, right? Even if you get a backup 5, right? Have a Naz Reid that you can play at the 5, right? In a small ball lineup to match, right? Talk about all the time. You want to see teams be very chameleon-like, right? You want to see teams, you want to go 2 bigs? We can go 2 bigs. Oh, you want to go small ball? We can go small. You want to go 1 big and kind of big foot? We can do that, right? You want to be able to match whatever, team you're playing against, right? Especially in the Western Conference in particular, you hear all the time, matchups are so important. Matchups. Well, how do you better your matchups? By being able to match those teams, right? So the more you can match those teams, the better chance you have of going on a deep playoff run, being able to get over the top. Obviously, talent trumps a lot of that too. Naz Reid is a guy that's talented. Naz Reid's a guy that gives you plenty of talent that you can slot in, play at the 5. I mean, he could play at the 4. He could play alongside Wemby. He could play alongside any type of backup you get, whether the backup can spread the floor or not. It's fine. Naz Reid can. I think if you're the Spurs, you take a strong look at Naz Reid, no matter what happens, whether you go get Kevin Durant or not, especially if you get Kevin Durant. If you get Kevin Durant, you're all in, right? You're not getting Kevin Durant to not try to win in the next 2-3 years, right? But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you like this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.